So, Abhiruchi, when is your interview date?
Mine is in the third schedule, so the date is not out.
Date is still not out.
Yes, sir.
Abhiruchi, I went to your DAF, and when I went to your DAF, let me tell you a few things जो मैंने analyze किया है. The first is normally क्या होता है when the DAF goes in front of the panel members. The first impression क्या होता है? The first impression is that you have a decent academics, 10, 12th, you're in a BTech, you're an engineer. As far as the other part is concerned, that आप हरियाणा से हो, you're from city called Mahendragarh, then you have other areas like Rewari. Parents have served in the government jobs. ठीक है. उसके अलावा then comes the sports, hobbies, leadership, cadre आपका home cadre हरियाणा है, service preference, all those things are there. So the पहला impression क्या होता है? The first impression is that you have a decent academics, and let's start on those lines. Yes. Now, let me share you certain things, and that will give a better idea. मैं आपसे एक form kind of share करूँगा जिसमें the questions related to DAF usually are asked.
Okay, sir.
Okay, so the screen is visible, right?
Oh, yes, sir.
Okay. So the first step would be going through the DAF. तो पहला तो आपका थोड़ा नाम यूनिक है, right? Its name is Abhi, right? So what is the meaning of your name? ठीक है, जैसे अगर ये सवाल, they can ask questions about what is the meaning of your name, right? Anybody who have identical names, any role model, ideal you follow. Yes, then your academic background would be the next step. ठीक है, जहाँ पर they will see the academics. आपने बीटेक किया है NSIT से in 2018.
18, yes sir.
18 में आपने बीटेक किया है. Then since then you've been preparing for the civil services only, right? I think full time. फिर आपका choice of optional जो है वो public administration है. This is the fourth attempt that you're giving. आपका university college के बारे में जो details है वो available है. So that is the first information which is available, and the questions can be asked on these areas. अभी 10 मिनट में इसको analyze करते हैं हम लोग, and then we'll have a small one-to-one question answer session to see how you respond to the situation. Okay.
Okay, sir.
Then your parents, family background, parents particular, government job में आपके father and mother दोनों लोग रहे हैं. What job they were doing, what were the role, किस subject को पढ़ाते हैं. All mother आपकी teacher रही हैं, father भी I think government job में जो भी आपका specific domain था जहाँ वो work करते थे उसके बारे में पूछ सकते हैं. Any siblings that you have उसके बारे में पूछ सकते हैं. Then native place आपका कहाँ है, hometown कहाँ है, village है, are you a rural person, are you a urban person? Then any unique thing about the family aspect that they might look into it, for example the socio-cultural aspect. तो ये basic level पे होता है. Then of course the residence part comes in, location of the residence, the historical and socio-cultural importance. What is the importance of Mahendragarh, where it is located, anything that you know about the place historically it is famous for. What are the problems of your city, district, and state? For example, if you are from Haryana, Haryana is one of the most prosperous states in India in terms of per capita income, but it has low socio-demographic indicators, especially education, health, the child sex ratio. So those things can be asked or discussed. Also, if you're from rural area, they might ask the problems in particular that rural area faces.
Yes.
Haryana is an agricultural state, so they might about agriculture. Also, there is a considerable presence of industry also there, so they might ask. So, ये सारी चीजों का information data you need to have ready, and you have to make the pointers. एक जो statements हैं, you have to write points into these and make sure that that is revised properly.
Yes,
एक basic अभिरुचि belief ये होता है interview जो आप देते हो, and there is a common misconception which I want to tell you. They will tell you normally whenever you go in the panel interviews or even in general also, वो कहते हैं it is not a test of your knowledge, it is a test of your personality. But somewhere everything that they are asking is about knowledge only, mostly.
Yes, sir.
जहाँ पे आपका general information होता है ठीक है, but they usually expect that you have prepared your areas very well. Let's say आपने कोई current affair का कोई issue पे वो सवाल पूछते हैं, they expect that you are very well aware of that issue with good in-depth understanding of that topic. So somewhere the knowledge is also being tested, even though they are more looking at the response. ठीक है, ये response कैसा होता है, और इंटरव्यू इज मोर लाइक अ कॉन्वर्सेशन. आप उसको
Yes, sir.
उसको एक कॉन्वर्सेशन की तरह लेना चाहिए कि भाई दे विल आस्क क्वेश्चंस, आई विल आंसर इट, दे विल आस्क क्वेश्चन, आई विल आंसर इट, आई विल आंसर टू द बेस्ट ऑफ माय एबिलिटी. तो इसलिए
Yes,
हमारा ऑब्जेक्टिव हमारा ये भी रहेगा कि दैट वी शुड बी एबल टू अंडरस्टैंड हाउ वेल वी आर एबल टू हैंडल द सिचुएशन, स्पेशली इन टर्म्स ऑफ क्वेश्चंस. मेरे क्वेश्चंस
yes,
में
sir.
कितने अच्छे से बोल पा रही हूँ, समझा पा रही हूँ, हाउ आई एम एबल टू पुट माय थॉट अक्रॉस, एंड दैट इज व्हाट वी आर लुकिंग एट. So
Okay.
these are the aspect that we should be working upon. Then आपका hobbies and interest. अभी आपका hobby थोड़ा unique है. For example, आपने बोला you visit a sacred pond. Now,
Yes,
is
sir.
it a hobby? कैसे आप follow करते हो? Where is that sacred pond? Why it is sacred for you? Right?
Yes, sir.
And nature's walk. Nature's walk a very common thing. आप nature walk करते हो, कितना regularly करते हो? How long
Yes.
have you been doing this? ठीक है ना? Any person whom you know which is associated with such hobbies. Then उसके बाद आपका past position held at college, you were a head boy at head girl at school, sorry. Then you were in the debating club, you were also secretary of the cultural society.
Yes, sir.
तो ये सारी चीजों पर वो they can ask the situation background, आपने क्या किया है, कहाँ किया है, कितना किया है.
Yes, sir.
For example, मेरा story writing था. When I gave the interview, my hobby was story writing. So they asked कितना स्टोरी आपने लिखा है, कैन यू टेल मी अबाउट अ स्टोरी. ठीक है, उन्होंने एक छोटा सा स्टोरी के बारे में पूछा, वेयर आई जस्ट स्टार्टेड एंड दे स्टॉप्ड मी. दे वर चेकिंग कि मैंने स्टोरी लिखा है कि नहीं लिखा है, राइट.
Yes, sir.
तो सच थिंग्स वुड बी देयर. एंड अवार्ड प्राइजेस आपने जो मिले हैं, फॉर एग्जांपल you got scholarship at college, you have given invitation to attend a Republic Day event. ठीक है,
Yes, sir.
वो सारा हो सकता है. जॉब प्रोफाइल आपके केस में अप्लाई नहीं होता है, सो एनीवे विल स्किप दिस पार्ट एंटायरली. प्रेफरेंस फॉर द सर्विस प्रेफरेंस अगर हम कहते हैं तो आईएएस, आईपीएस, आईआरएस, देन आईएफएस. नाउ यहाँ पे एक क्वेश्चन आ सकता है, व्हाई आईएफएस एट 5, व्हाई आईएफएस एट 5 नंबर. ठीक है,
Yes,
इसको
sir.
5वें नंबर पे आपने क्यों डाला है, ये एक सवाल हो सकता है. एंड देन आईआरएस आपका जो है वो सेकंड थर्ड नंबर पे है, आईपीएस नंबर 2 पे है, तो विच इज ओके. देन जो प्रेफरेंस है स्टेट्स में, यूजुअली नॉर्थ ईस्ट स्टेट्स और सदर्न स्टेट्स लोअर साइड होता है. इट इज कंप्लीटली नॉर्मल. दे माइट आस्क कि आपका वो क्यों नीचे है. एंड इन द स्टेट दैट यू प्रेफर टू गो, लेट्स से आपने अपना होम स्टेट हरियाणा पुट किया है, तो द स्टेट्स वेयर प्रेफर टू गो, दे माइट आस्क अबाउट दो स्टेट्स आल्सो कि आप वहां क्यों जाना चाहते हो. लेट्स से यू हैव अ होम स्टेट एंड यू वांट टू गो इन होम स्टेट, सो दैट मेक्स सेंस. बट मेनी टाइम्स क्या होता है कि जो सेकंड स्टेट है या जो चॉइस है, they might go and ask you about that particular place as well.
Yes, sir.
Then career in civil services, the recent challenges of the job, your strength for the job, why should we take you in the service, what is the unique quality that you have as an individual. Okay, how well you know about yourself, how you are able to handle the situation, what are the problems Indian bureaucracy or police or administration is facing, what are the problems, what are the challenges, the issues of accountability, आप कैसे accountability को ensure करोगे. If we give you opportunity to bring change in your organization, or let's say follow something, तो आप क्या करोगे. So ethics पढ़ा है, मोटा मोटी जो answers आपको पता है उसी को आपको बताना पड़ेगा. And you are also a public administration student, so you can expect a lot of questions from public administration as well, because most of these questions are from public administration. तो ये
Yes,
हमारा approach होना चाहिए specifically. तो
sir, can I get a PDF? Can I get this PDF of the
हाँ,
question?
तो ये मैं अभी शेयर कर दूंगा, इनफैक्ट ये भी करूंगा. एंड आई आल्सो सेंड यू द इसका मैंने जो कुछ एनालिसिस किया है उसको मैं अभी आपको भेजूंगा आफ्टर द सेशन.
Okay, sir.
Right?
Okay, sir.
Now let's start the interview session. Should we start?
Yes, sir.
Okay, fair enough. Okay, Abhiruchi, tell me what is the meaning of your name?
Sir, Abhiruchi means aptitude.
Okay, so what do you think, you have good aptitude, you're an engineer?
Sir, I think I have a good problem solving attitude as an engineer, and I also have a good attitude at analysis of situations and things.
Can you enlighten this further? When did you feel, or can you tell me instance which made you feel that you have good aptitude and analytical skills?
So if I cite some instances, like, sir, I have been a member of the Prayas Society during my college. So this was a society which engaged with the students with the marginalized communities and taught them. So, sir, in that, as a volunteer, I identified the unique needs of the children with respect to the education. the particular aspects they are lacking on, and where they need the guidance and support. So this analysis helped me in a customized approach while teaching the students in the Prayas Society.
Okay, okay. Why did you choose public administration as an optional in spite of being from an engineering background?
I have always been interested in multidisciplinarity when it has come to academic. I think a multidisciplinary knowledge helps us gain more knowledge and more application of different fields in the different aspects of knowledge that we have gained. And so further, when I got aligned towards civil services, I thought that in this career, I would have to understand the challenges that the administration is facing and how we can further improve the efficacy of administration. And the knowledge of public administration would help me in better dealing with those challenges.
So there is a very famous thinker in public administration called Mary Parker Follett, right?
Yes, sir.
And can you tell me about the theory she has given?
So Mary Parker Foley has been a dynamic thinker or a futuristic thinker of public administration, and so her theory has been more towards a behavioral approach and a modern approach in public administration, where more focus has been on conflict resolution. So she has given a theory of integrated approach in conflict resolution.
Do you think that is practically possible? Can we apply her learnings in administration, especially in a department level where conflicts are very normal, and especially in opinions?
Yes, sir. So the very basic thing that Mary Parker Foley said is that a conflict should not be avoided, which means that she has given a room for difference in opinions, and which must be followed in public administration as well, that different opinions should be taken in from different stakeholders. And then there should be an attempt at integrating all the stakeholders in that. And so Foley herself has said that at times it might not be possible to fulfill the needs or the interests of all the stakeholders, but integrating them into the conflict resolution process is what she talks about, and that can be emulated in public administration.
Okay, okay. Coming to your hobbies, you have a very unique hobby where you have mentioned visiting sacred park, now a sacred pond. Now, can you be very specific here, which pond you visit? Or
there is a sacred pond in my village, which goes by the name of Baba Dhab. And I like visiting that pond as a part of my morning and evening walk routine. And it gives me the mental peace, rejuvenation, and it helps me connect with the nature.
okay, and so how big that pond is?
It's a big pond with, I think its area should be around 1 kilometer square, approximately.
Is it man-made?
No, sir, it's a natural water body.
Okay, okay. And where is the source of water of that pond?
So it's mainly rainfall, and secondly, when rainfall is there, then or when the rainfall is scarce, then water recharge also helps maintain its water level.
Okay. Now, you are a part of the debating club, right?
Yes, sir.
So when was the last time you debated?
Sir, I was a part of the debating club during my school, so that was the last time I took part in debate.
Do you remember the topic's name that you debated last time?
Yes, sir. So one of the topics was regarding reservation, that should a reservation be continued or abolished. That is one topic I recall.
Coming to this question, recently there has been demand of caste census by a few states. And so what are your views? Should we have caste census or not?
States like Bihar have already started the exercise of caste census. And before that, socio-economic caste census had also been published in 2011. So I think a caste census helps us in better policy making and evidence-based policy making, because we would have a better data of the demography of the and a caste data. But sir, I think there should be right procedures followed in it, and the methodology of collecting the data should be more comprehensive, because this was the reason that the socio-economic caste census that was conducted in 2011, the central government itself said that it had certain problems with it and certain lacunae, which led to the caste census data becoming more redundant and could not be used much in policy making. So a caste census in itself is good for evidence-based policy making, but its comprehensive nature and the methodology used for data collection, that should be improved upon.
What do you think? We have seen independence, which was almost 25 years ago. And the last caste census, which is when data was released, was in 1931 by the Britishers. Since then, also, we have had so many census, or maybe many ways of collecting data, but not even once the caste data has been out. So don't you think that bringing caste census or data, even after 75 years, makes sense? Rather than focus should be more on development, because caste itself is very caste divide or kind of caste-based politics can also be a challenge.
Yes, sir. So this is one of the challenges before releasing the caste census data. But sir, the advantages that it has, for example, so on several instances when the data of when the case of reservation has gone in the Supreme Court, it has said that we need a more researched data so that we can know the socio-economic conditions of various castes. So because there's also a problem of we can say development divide even within the castes as well. So subcategorization of castes for the purpose of reservation. So for that as well, we need such data. So I think collection of such data would be helpful. But on the other hand, we need to be cautious about it, that it does not create frictions and caste divides. And that can be done through awareness generation, dissemination of information about the reasons behind this census and how it would help the society, and that can help in preventing such scenarios of frictions.
Okay, fair enough. Now coming to as an administration, because you have chosen public administration as an optional.
Yes.
Can you tell me the few challenges which a administration has to bear, especially at district level?
So the first challenge that I think is of reaching out to the people, or accessibility of the administration, which I think at present there is a lack in. We need administration at the doorstep of the people, and there is a lag there. So second is e-governance.
Okay, tell me 3 things that you would do. Let's say you become a district magistrate of your city. Tell me 3 things that you would do immediately to improve the administration.
So first, my foremost focus would be on improving the work culture in administration. Because if the work culture is improved, there will be more sensitization towards the problems of the people, and more efficiency would creep in. So second, I would focus on making administration more accessible to the people. So rather than administration being or people reaching out to the administration, there should be administration reaching out to the people. So sir, for example, at present times, Janta Darbars are conducted at the district levels. I would like to penetrate it further to the grassroots, and I would conduct the Janta Darbars at the village level, so that more people, the grievances of more people can be redressed. And so third, my focus would be on creating awareness in the people regarding their rights, regarding, for example, the citizen charters, so that they are more aware of their rights, and so that they're more assertive about the grievances that they are facing.
Now, Janta Darbars are conducted at block level, at sub-divisional level, and at district level. Yes. Now, you want to connect them at village level. Fair enough. Can you tell me how many, on an average, villages are there in a district?
So, can I take a moment?
Yes.
So, around 300 villages.
Okay. So, you want to conduct, Janta Darbar at village level. Do you think that it is feasible for you to do that? Can you touch all the villages?
So, there can be delegation of work in this respect. if I myself might not be able to conduct the darbar, this can be delegated to the other staff in the administration.
Okay, fair enough. Fair enough. Tell me, your parents were in government jobs. So what was the role of your father? What he did in terms of his job?
So my father has been in the animal husbandry department as a veterinary surgeon, and later he has been promoted to subdivisional officer in animal husbandry and dairying.
Can you tell me the government schemes or measures, especially Government of India schemes of measure, which have been there to promote animal husbandry?
Yes, sir. So the first one is Rashtriya Gokul Mission to promote the indigenous breed of cattle. So second is because we see that there is lack of credit with the livestock farmers. So Kisan credit cards on the lines of Kisan credit cards for farmers in agriculture have been launched. And third is the National Animal Disease Control Program for FMD and brucellosis.
Now, coming to the dairy sector, where dairy sector, normally it is always believed that alternative livelihood of any farmer can be empowered through creating a sector which can generate extra income. Now, you tell me that if you compare India's dairy sector with the other countries which are doing well, what are the challenges? What are the concerns? Why can't we match them?
So although in terms of production, India is the largest producer of milk and also the largest livestock is there in India. But so we lack the export capabilities compared to countries like Australia and New Zealand, which are performing very well in the livestock sector. And so for that, we need to ramp up our food processing sector. Because we see that the milk that is collected, there are lack of chilling centers, there is lack of packaging centers and processing centers. That is one aspect that needs to be taken care of. So second is, I think we need to ramp up the dairy cooperatives. Because if the cooperative sector is enhanced in the field of livestock and dairying, it would on one hand improve the productivity of the sector, and on the other also give a bargaining value to the farmers and help increase their income.
Normally, dairy farms, if you compare dairy farms in New Zealand and Australia and Netherlands, we find that dairy farms there on average have 300, 400, 500 cows or buffaloes. But in India, we have 2 or 3.
Yes,
so this is one of the biggest challenges, which is also a concern because the cost per unit or milk or per liter is very high in India.
Yes, sir.
So what can be done here? Now you are saying about cooperative, but do you think that cooperatives are feasible? Because today we have our dairy sector is very unorganized.
So the feasibility of cooperatives can be understood from the Gujarat model, where Amul and other cooperatives have functioned very well. So that can be emulated, and that can also address this problem where the sector is unorganized and fragmented.
Okay. Fair enough. So Abhiruchi, you did well. Answers were quite okay. Where do you rate? How much do you rate your interview, especially in terms of your answers? Out of the scale of 0 to 10.
So I think compared to the previous mocks, it was better. But there's still areas where I can improve upon.
Yes. Okay. So let me tell you, you've done well. You've done decently well, and I ventured into some areas which were a little complex. I ventured into a debatable topic like caste census. You stood your ground, though I firmly believe that there should not be any caste census because that will create more divide and antagonism in society. And already after 75 years, we should rather be focusing on development anyway. But that is an opinion which panel members might also have. And but that is completely okay. You stood your ground, you had your opinion, you went ahead, you explained it to it. And so overall, the answers were brief and precise to the point. Somewhere I felt that in few answers, there were a little more explanation than needed. But overall, it was okay. Coming to as far as DAF is concerned, there is not much information that you have shared. The information is very limited, and thereby the questions which might be asked would be from your optional, it could be from your engineering background. Now that is one area I haven't touched it, but engineering background question might be there, especially instrumentation and control. Okay, so you have to, I'm sure this is one area which is a difficult also, because engineering ki abhi 5 saal ho gaya hai, and automatically you can't go back and read the books and subjects. So naturally it is going to be a difficult area, but always look at the questions that might be asked from the contemporary point of view. What is the role of instrumentation and control? What are the evolution or new technologies have to come in the field? For example, I did my BTech from electronics almost 17 years ago. So when I had done my BTech, so then my interview questions were mainly from the areas of innovations and R&D, and the questions were asked from the patents were asked in the domain of electronics. So such kind of contemporary questions might come, though I personally believe that these questions are more relevant.
Help me with some questions, like what probable questions can be asked from instrumentation?
Okay, ठीक है. इस पे थोड़ा मुझे research करना पड़ेगा. Okay, I have to do some research. Give me some time, 2-3 days. I can do some research. But I believe that there is very close relation between instrumentation and electronics and EI, right?
Yes, sir.
Electronics.
Yes, sir.
And even electronics engineering and your subjects have quite commonality. Maybe in the last,
there are many common subjects in both the streams.
I think the last 1 or 2 semesters things changes, but majorly rest remains same, right?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay, fair enough. So the question that might be asked is, what is instrumentation and control? What are the subjects that you've read? How your subject is different from a traditional electronics and communication? What extra you study that they don't study? First is the comparison part, because your subject is unique. Very few engineering colleges in India offer. There are South colleges, but in North there are very few colleges which offer them, right? Sir. And then they might go into they might venture in the areas of innovation, research, R&D, AI, machine learning, technology-driven, embedded systems, because these are areas where I think which are related with your field as well, right? Yes. So they might go into these areas, and तो मुझे एक बार देखना पड़ेगा. Let me see what questions can be there in this area. I'll prepare some questions on this and I'll share it with you. Today is what, by 23 or 24 I'll do that. Okay. बाकी तो मुझे चीजें ठीक लगी. Communication was okay. Naturally, having 1-to-1 and having a mock, having a real interview will be different, because situation badal jati hai. But you have a very good chance of doing well, and I personally believe that you can reach 170 plus easily. On a good day, you can cross 175 also, 180 also. But again, DAF preparation or thorough hona chahiye. I think you've done your preparation at basic level, but preparation ko aur depth mein jaiye. For example, they might go into your state. चूंकि हम वहां पे गए नहीं हैं अभी, but they might go into your state, your challenges of state, data, information, which I believe आपने अपने इनसे किया होगा. थोड़ा hobby में मुझे है, sacred pond आप visit करते हो hobby में. Hobby is more like an activity that people do. So वो थोड़ा सा they might say that ये hobby कैसा है. You have to justify why it is a hobby, where you go and sit and you feel happy and you feel motivated, you rejuvenate yourself. Nature's walk, the normal hobby usually लोग करते हैं. So more or less things are okay, and let's hope that you do well. Public administration को अच्छे से तैयार कर लीजिएगा, because public administration से questions आएंगे आपके. Electronics optional, and of course the opinion based question on issues will always be there. ठीक है ना? एक और चीज होगा, your home state हरियाणा, right? So हरियाणा के बारे में आपने स्टडी किया है कुछ या नहीं किया अभी तक?
Yes sir, basic informations और कुछ current schemes वगैरह देखे हैं.
Government schemes, उसके अलावा check the socio-demographic indicators.
Yes sir.
Very important.
Yes, sir.
उसके अलावा especially there are pressing issues. For example, there can be debates on khab panchayats, right?
Yes.
There can be the controversial areas also. जैसे मान लीजिए child sex ratio, your view, उसमें क्या है, उसके laws क्या हैं, what is the current child sex ratio, has there been an improvement since 2011, जैसे अभी census का data तो पुराना है, what is the new data, SRS का data आया है या कोई और भी data आया है, what is it improved or not, government schemes, why it is so prevalent in states like Haryana, even though it is very economically it is very empowered, why, so ये सारी चीजों पे आपका सवाल हो सकता है. And what can be done, how do we improve these things. Haryana is one area where you can expect questions, and बाकी तो आई थिंक मोर लेस आर ओके. सर्विस प्रेफरेंस में व्हाई IFS एट 5th नंबर क्यों पुट किया आपने, एनी पर्टिकुलर रीजन?
No, sir. It was just that I wanted to work here in India.
विद इन इंडिया, ठीक है,
Nothing
मेक
to
सेंस.
read.
बता दीजिएगा इस बात को that my
Yes, sir.
service preference, I want to stay in India, that is why I put it.
Yes,
So they might ask you further, so आप कहना कि sir, because the choice has been there, I'm not averse to joining foreign service if I get an
yes,
opportunity.
sir.
ठीक है ना,
Yes,
आप इस
sir.
बात को कह
Yes, sir.
सकते हो. वहां तक पहुंचेगा ही नहीं, but I'm open to any idea. That is what you have
Yes,
to
sir.
tell yourself.
Yes, sir.
ठीक है ना. तो अभी तो अभिरुचि इतना ही है from my
Sir,
side.
what should be the answer for justifying the state preferences or cadre preferences? Because they asked me a similar question the last year.
लास्ट ईयर आपने इंटरव्यू दिया था, राइट?
Yes, sir. So they
कितने
asked me
मार्क्स आए थे
about.
इंटरव्यू में? कितने मार्क्स आए थे?
Sir, did not score very well. It was 150.
150 था, ठीक है, ठीक है.
Yes.
और आपका इंटरव्यू खराब भी गया था?
Yeah, I felt that it was not that good.
Okay. तो स्टेट प्रेफरेंस में आपने क्या, व्हाट वाज द क्वेश्चन, कैन यू टेल मी?
The question was that apart from Haryana, if you had to choose one state that you would want to serve in, what would that be?
एंड व्हाट आंसर डिड यू गिव?
Sorry, sir.
आपने आंसर क्या दिया था?
So first, I said that I would be that I'm happy to join any of the state, but then ma'am kept asking the same question. No, but still, if you had to choose one, you had to choose one. Have you visited any other state? Then which state would that be? Which one would you want to go? So I thought that I should answer the one which I have filled as my second preference, because otherwise that would be contradictory. So I selected. I talked about Rajasthan, and then. The question was why Rajasthan then, and I could not come up with a very good answer to that.
You can tell that Rajasthan is I'm from Haryana. Rajasthan is close to my state also. And
So
I
I
would like
said something on the similar line, but then there was a counter question, and ma'am said that it seems that you have a preference for working in similar environments, and she said something like that.
आप इसको फिर ऐसे काउंटर कर दें, मैम आई एम ओपन टू एनी एनवायरनमेंट एंड लर्निंग as an opportunity, but since the preference has been given, I'm opting for the choice, that's all. But I'm open to any environment, any learning, any challenges which service has to offer. Nothing wrong in choosing the. अब अगर उसमें ये तो नॉर्मली है ना, मैं अपने घर के नजदीक रहना चाहती हूँ, या फिर I want to stay near to my place, or the culture or area is more adaptable. Why should I choose an option which is far from my city, a different culture, different environment, different language? I'm open to that. I'm not averse to joining any place. तो आप ये कहते हो तो साफ साफ कहते, yes ma'am, with all due respect, I'm open to any place, any changes, any area which service has to offer. But since the preference has been asked, I told you my state, my answer. That's all. Smile करके इसको आप यहीं पे क्लोजर करिए. फिर वो कुछ करें, नहीं we think you are close, you want to go to the place. तो कह रही मैम, as a natural tendency, it is very as a natural tendency, it is very normal that you would like to go places where you're more familiar with. But I personally believe that Rajasthan is also a state which provides a lot of opportunities for development and growth. So it would not be maybe cultural aspect, maybe might be closer, but in terms of challenges and opportunity, it offers myriads of opportunity and learning for me, I think. आप इस तरह से कहते हो, उसको आप हैंडल कर सकते हो. होता क्या है कि जब suddenly you are asked question where you felt that आप उसको justify नहीं कर पाते हो, you get surprised and thereby you not able to handle the situation. तो मैंने एक बात आपसे अभी कही थी कि it is not about the question, it is about how you handle the question.
Yes,
It is also not about the answer, it is how you handle the answer. I handle the situation and question. तो वो उसी आंसर को आप उसी बात को फिर से रिपीट करिए, but you do it in a very positive and calm manner, and rest nothing is wrong in that. They were looking to check you, corner you, question you, put you in a situation where you have to respond differently, or they would expect, या फिर आप कुछ गलती कर दो, तो that is something that they will check and do it. So you have to be mentally ready, but you have to hold your ground. थोड़ा कुछ सेकंड ले लीजिए, सोच लीजिए, and if you feel that Rajasthan makes sense, it is completely okay. जो वो बात कह रही है उसको भी हम मान लेते हैं, but there are other reasons also which will allow me to be there. I would rather choose those preferences. ठीक है ना. तो ये मेरे ख्याल से एक रह सकता है. बाकी इसमें बहुत सब्जेक्टिविटी है, अभिरुचि, बहुत सब्जेक्टिविटी है. और कई बार ऐसा होता है दैट आप वेल प्रिपेयर्ड आंसर पे भी जाते हो बट दे विल क्वेश्चन, राइट?
Yes,
तो
sir.
आप उसको स्मार्टली सोच समझ के 2 सेकंड ले लीजिए। ठहराव भी बहुत जरूरी है इंटरव्यू। क्या होता है कि when suddenly you caught off the block, तो आप थोड़ा होल्ड करिए। when you feel that you don't have an answer, take your time, think and then answer it. That shows the presence of mind. Also it shows a response where that you are thinking person, वो एनालिटिकली आप सोच के जवाब भी दे रहे हैं, एंड आंसर विल कम। इतना आपने पढ़ाई करा हुआ है, ठीक है ना?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
ओके, तो यही रहेगा अभिरुचि, एंड रेस्ट यू विल डू वेल। दिल्ली आइएगा तो वी कैन हैव 1-to-1 पैनल आल्सो। और अच्छा है, पब्लिक एडमिनिस्ट्रेशन पे अच्छे से काम करिए। मेरा भी ऑप्शन पब्लिक एडमिनिस्ट्रेशन रहा है, तो आई नो द सब्जेक्ट वेरी वेल। ठीक है,
Sir, if you don't mind, can you please share briefly your experience of the interview?
I got 180 in one interview and in the second interview I got 132। ठीक है,
Oh, that's so much subjectivity.
हाँ,
Okay,
तो
so
मेरा
what
सेकंड
did you?
इंटरव्यू में, और सेकंड इंटरव्यू में अगर 180 आता तो मैं IRS में जाता। दैट इज अ
Okay,
डिफरेंस।
sir.
सो
So
होता
what
है,
was the difference you felt, sir?
मतलब मेरा सेकंड इंटरव्यू खराब हो गया था। आई कुड नॉट, देयर वर सिचुएशनल क्वेश्चंस, आई गॉट पैनिक, मतलब पैनिक हो गया मैं, एंड आई वेंट इन द मोड कि मेरा पहला इंटरव्यू तो अच्छा गया तो मैं तो अच्छा करूंगा, यू नो, बट समवेयर यू मिसरेड द सिचुएशन। आल्सो दैट वाज अ बैड डे फॉर मी। ठीक है, तो देयर आर लॉट ऑफ
Sir, the
सब्जेक्ट।
questions were more based. Yes, sir.
क्वेश्चंस
Yes.
वो बेसिक, क्वेश्चन बेसिक थे। क्वेश्चन जो
No,
प्रिपेयर कर गए थे
questions were
वहीं से,
based on DAF, or that was more current affairs based?
नहीं डैफ पे थे, डैफ पे भी थे, करंट पे भी थे।
DAF.
देवर मोर इम्प्लाइड क्वेश्चन,
Okay, sir.
या कह लीजिए क्वेश्चन फॉलो अप क्वेश्चन ज्यादा थे। ठीक है, तो आप कहोगे तो एक दो और कर लेते, थोड़ा डिटेल भी कर लेंगे, कोई ऐसा इशू नहीं है। अगर आपको मन
Yes,
में
sir. I think I'll go for an offline mock the
हाँ
next
हाँ कर
time.
सकते हैं, हाँ डिटेल में कर सकते हैं। ठीक है, ठीक है, आई विल बी हैप्पी टू हेल्प यू। ठीक है ना?
Okay. Thank
चलिए,
you, sir.
गुड विशेस बेटा, एंड गॉड
Thank you
ब्लेस
so
यू,
much.
विल डू वेल। ठीक है,
Thank you
कीप
so much,
पॉजिटिव,
sir.
डोंट थिंक अबाउट व्हाट 50 हुआ है, वो सब अच्छा होगा, है ना?
Yes, sir.
चलो, टेक केयर।
Thank you, sir.